What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Brew podcast. I'm your host, Kayla, and I'm interviewing creatives every other week so that you can get the human experience behind the art. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this episode is also available with visuals on our YouTube page. And additionally, if you're not already following the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Instagram, now is your chance to do so that you don't miss any of the cool updates. Now, if you're listening and you were growing up watching Nickelodeon between the years of 2011 and 2013, you may be familiar with my favorite TV show, House of Anubis. Now, this episode is bonkers crazy and also incredibly special to me because 15 years later, I have for you this week Brad Kavanagh, who played Fabian on the hit show House of Anubis. We are here to discuss his past music career, what he's working on these days, his photography hobby, and of course, it wouldn't be a classic interview without some stories and memories from filming House of Anubis. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. This was incredibly fun for me. Brad, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and also thank you for being patient because of all the Wi-Fi issues. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this interview as much as I did. Here's Brad. Brad, welcome to the podcast. There are not words to describe how special this is for me because I've been a fan since like 2011.
Legit.
So,
Like House of Anubis season 1 territory. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
yes. And so I'm just so pleased that you were interested in coming on. And
Yeah,
so most people will likely remember you from House of Anubis on
yeah,
Nickelodeon, which follows an American student in like a British boarding school with all these fun mysteries. And in the
yeah.
show, you play Fabian. And I know I'm asking you to kind of dig through the archives here.
Well,
Uh,
go on.
yeah, so what was it like? How did you end up in the role of Fabian for House of Anubis, and what was it like filming for you?
So, do you know what? I realised recently, it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I turned 33, which is terrifying, because someone kind of reminded me that's halfway to 66, and I was like, wow, I didn't need that thought. But what I also realised was I am now, this is so weird, I've lived longer after starting Anubis than I had before, because I was 16. I was 16 and a half when I actually got the job, and now being 33, I'm like, that was half of my life ago, which is really weird to think. But it was amazing. I mean, I remember I'd done a bunch of work for the Disney Channel. My first pro job was when I was in Billy Elliot the Musical. I played Michael in that show. It's me on the CD, and I'm like 10, which, if you listen to that, it's like literally a little 10-year-old Brad. So I'd already worked quite a lot. I was going to school, I was doing my GCSEs, and my mum was always really good at being like, do your grades, stick in, get good results and stuff. So I was kind of sitting there thinking, do I go to university? Which everyone else was doing, everyone was going to university, and I was kind of, do I do electronic engineering? I was kind of one of those kind of nerds, I was into like soldering and designing. I designed like, this sounds so nerdy, I designed like a 3-band equalizer. Which is like an audio tool, and I designed that for my GCSE, so that was a bit crazy. But yeah, I was there, and everyone was going to uni, and I was halfway through sixth form and thinking, what do I do? And then I was still auditioning for stuff, but it wasn't auditioning too much, because my manager at the time was like, look, you've done loads of work for Disney, like, calm down, just, do your A-levels and see what happens. And all of a sudden someone said, oh, there's this Egyptian horror, kind of like, that's how it was pitched to me, an Egyptian horror series, and I was like, horror? Yeah, but it's for Nickelodeon. I was like, horror for Nickelodeon? I don't really think it's going to be horror. But I thought, whatever. And the way it was pitched to me by my friend that was going for the audition, actually, originally my friend Ashley Lloyd, he was going for it. And he said, yeah, it's kind of like Harry Potter meets kind of a high school drama, meets Pretty Little Liars, meets, and I was like, oh, wow, that sounds kind of cool. And they're like, can I get an audition for this? He was like, yeah, all right. Like, so I rang my agent. Was like, there's this thing. My guy, my friend's going to. It sounds kind of fun. Can I go? It sounds like my alley. But anyway, yes, I went for the audition. Had a great time. Read the script, and I can remember thinking, we did like an improv workshop in like a group of 40 of us, and I remember thinking, I don't think I'm going to get this job. I don't feel like I'm the right fit for this.
Really?
pulled me in for a one-on-one read, and they were like, "Oh, read for this part. It's a part of Mick originally." And they're like,
Oh, okay.
I went into the audition kind of wearing a baseball jacket, I remember, and I think they were like, "Oh, sporty guy." So I went in and read the part of Mick. But then the casting director, who was lovely, was kind of like, "Yeah, that was really good. Could you read for another? Could you read for another part though? Because we think you seem more like emotionally sensitive naturally, and we think so. Read this other guy, Fabian." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And to be fair, I hadn't seen the lines beforehand, and with the casting director, they played Nina, I played Fabian, and we went backwards and forwards. And right away, I was like, "Oh yeah, this feels like." I don't want to say I'm exactly like my character because that makes me sound like a really bad actor, but Fabian was quite near naturally to me as a person, quite thoughtful, doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, bit of a bookworm. So I read that part, and right away I was like, "Oh, this kind of fits a bit more." But casting directors never give anything away, so I left the room and I was like, I don't know if they thought that was very good or not. But yeah, in the end, I mean, I got a call I got a recall, went back, did another read to a camera, went for another recall, and the whole time it felt like usually when you audition, it starts with like 1,000 people, then you get a recall and it's like 50, then you get another recall and it's like usually you and one other guy. That's usually the way it goes. With this, there was like 100 people at every version of these auditions.
Wow.
Even when I went to the last recall, I was like, "There's still 100 Fabians here." So I kind of thought, I don't think I've got a chance. But anyway, went in, met the director, Angelo, lovely guy. So this is like a really bad thing to admit as an actor, especially in an audition, but I committed the ultimate boo-boo, which is you never, ever, it's like a golden rule, you never, ever, ever stop mid-scene in an audition because it's considered super rude to the person you're auditioning with.
Okay.
If you're auditioning with another potential cast member. And it's also considered just super rude to like a director or whoever else, because if they think you're going to do that on set and you're going to yell cut, like it's just a cardinal sin. But genuinely, I did this scene and my mouth had this like shutdown, and I was doing this scene and I just talked absolute gibberish for one line. I was thinking about like don't mess up, and I remember I was like, "Oh," and I just said it's like so stupid.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, and the girl who was auditioning for Nina at the time, she just lost it and like was laughing. But we were taking it in turns to stand in opposite directions, so she wasn't on the little camera they used to film the audition. So she was like, because I literally went, and she was like, and I was like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, can we stop?" And I was like, "Why have I done that? That's the ultimate cardinal sin." But you know what's a really weird fun fact? Hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but you'll never guess who was auditioning for Nina when I was paired up with someone, because they would get like a Fabian and a Nina and put us together and test on-screen chemistry, and you will never guess who was auditioning for Nina at the time. It was, Naomi Scott, who was Jasmine in the new Aladdin movie with Will Smith.
You're joking.
Her. And we'd done a Disney show together called Life Bites for Disney UK.
Yeah.
So we already knew each other. We had a whale of a time. But yeah, how crazy is that? So
That's
she auditioned
nuts.
for Nina, which is mad. But yeah, the audition process was crazy. And then I heard nothing for 6 months, I think it was.
Wow.
And I mean like nothing. And I can remember saying to my friends, I was like, that job's gone. And then I got a phone call, I want to say in like July, and I just finished my first year of sixth form and was like, probably going to have to go to university. And I just got this phone call off my agent. Can you move to Liverpool in like 2 weeks?
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
yeah, why? And they're like, "Oh, you got the job, you got that Fabian thing." And I was like, "What?" So yeah, I got the part. Absolutely thrilled. And off I went. And I've pretty much been in Liverpool, to be fair, ever since. I'm still based here. So yeah, that's how that job came around. And it was a whirlwind, it was a journey. And I will never forget when I had the massive pleasure. Natalia didn't join us for the first week. I think she was shooting something else, so we just had this weird week where we weren't really filming. We were just meeting the producers, the directors. We were seeing the sets, which were I'll never forget. The first breakfast, the first day I got there, and we were staying at the Crown Plaza Hotel over in Liverpool, which I live hardly any away from right now. And I went down to breakfast, and we didn't know what anyone's names was. And I went down, and I saw this guy sat eating his breakfast very nervously over in the corner of the room. And there was like no one staying in this hotel at the time. And he was Alex Sawyer, and I remember being like, I think that guy just has an actor look about him. So when I was like, are you? And he was like, are you in Anubis? I was like, I'm in Anubis. And he was like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, sit with me. And there was this awkward, funny thing, which Alex will hate me saying this, but Alex watched Disney Channel, so he knew me from Disney Channel at the time. So I was really well known in the UK. In the UK, I would go places and I would get like followed by people. It was really weird. So he was like, I just realised, you're Disney Channel, Brad? And I was like, oh yeah. And he was like, that is so cool. Yeah, which is ironic because like he's way bigger than I ever was now. But yeah, and then an Animal Boy 10 came to have some breakfast, and then a Bobby Lockwood came, and a Jade Ramsey came, and yeah, little did we know, we sat around having breakfast that morning, nervously saying hi to each other, that we would spend a lot more time together. Yeah, and we would go and make, such a popular Nick show. So yeah, it was amazing how it came about.
That's so cool. And you mentioned recently that you and I think Jade were hanging out and you had an interesting thing happen with your Kids' Choice Award, is that right?
Yeah, that was insane. So yeah, weird story with the Kids' Choice Awards. And so currently I run a film production company. We're only a small outfit, but we make concert films and we make music documentaries with artists. American, US, not really any particular region. Very fortunate to have a lovely team. But yeah, a member of my team was at a charity shop, or I guess a thrift store, is what you would call it over in the States. And sent me a picture and was like, hey man, they've got one of those widgety things you've got. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, that orange thing you've got in your office, they've got one of them in this charity shop. Do you collect them? Do you want me to get this one? And I was like, what's it? I was like, send me a picture. This guy called Rich Murphy, really scouts. He's like, oh, Rich Murphy, yeah, I found this thing in the charity shop, proper scouts. He sent me a picture, and it was of a Kids' Choice Award, and I was like, that? So I called him, I was like, mate, do you know what that is? And he was like, yeah, it's one of those kaleidoscope things that you've got, that I've seen in your office. And I was like, yeah, but it's a Kids' Choice Award? And he was like, yeah, cool. And he thought they were just things you could buy. He's about 45, after the Nickelodeon era, so didn't really understand it. He was like, yeah, it's one of those awardy things that you've got. And I was like, I think he thinks it's just something you could buy for like a tenner. And I was like, can you send me a picture of the other side? And he turned it around and sent a picture of that side, and he said on it, favourite TV show, House of Anubis. And I was like, this is a House of Anubis Kids' Choice. And I thought, have I lost mine? And at the time, mine wasn't in my office anymore. I'd actually used it as a prop. I'd put it in the back of a... We were shooting some stuff for a documentary or something, and we needed stuff in a bedroom. And I was like, I'll do a little Easter egg, and I'll put this Kids' Choice Award just randomly in the back, and someone will see it and be like, hang on, is that, So it was in a prop store box. So I went and looked in the prop store, and I found it, and I was like, but this is whose is this? So I hopped into the group chat. And the truth is, we've all gone on to do so many different things. We all live in different time zones. There's not really our group chat we're all in, but I think me, Louisa, Clarissa, Anna, the random group chat that was from something, and none of us had talked in it for years. You're like, guys, has anyone lost their Kids' Choice Award? And Jade just came back. Everyone else was like, no. And then Jade came back 6 hours later and was like, oh my God, it's mine. I never actually took it back home to LA because she lives in LA. And then they did some digging. Turns out Lime Productions, which is the Liverpool-based production company that made Anubis for Nickelodeon, when we left, Jade couldn't find her Kids' Choice Award, and it turns out that it had been confused for something else, like a prop.
Oh.
Someone from the prop store had picked it up, had taken it home, or to the prop store at Lime. Then, by some weird other thing, it had been given as a gift to a guy who was a staff driver for Lime, so did a lot of logistics driving in the trucks and the vans. Someone thought it was just a random prop. So they gifted it to him as like a retirement thing. He didn't do Anubis, so that's the other weird thing.
Oh my god.
And then this poor guy sadly passed away earlier this year. And then his son had then not recognised what it was, emptied out his attic, found this Kids' Choice Award, didn't know what it was, put it in a box, took it to a charity shop in Bolster in Liverpool, and the same day my friend happened to, and he doesn't do charity shops, he doesn't go to that part of town in Bold Street, just was there, had some time to kill, went in this charity shop, clocked it and went, I think Brad collects those, and found it. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. Years later, I mean, literally, what's it been? That'll have been, we got them in season 2.
15 years? Almost?
Oh my god, literally like 14, 15 years ago. And she finally got reunited with it. So I managed to give it to her. Yeah, took it home. It's back in LA. She's got it. What a weird journey that object took. So yeah, crazy story. And it's just mad the things you end up coming across. As time passes, you go, oh my word. I haven't seen this person for 8 years. I haven't seen, in the flesh, I haven't seen Anna, Natalia, oh my god, so many people I have not physically seen in the flesh. I've maybe like FaceTimed them or video called them, but I've not seen in the flesh since we re-wrapped, which is ludicrous, ludicrous.
That's, oh my gosh, it's so crazy how time just goes and you don't even
It's terrifying.
realize.
Yeah, it's really terrifying.
And all
Do you know
of a
what's
sudden-
really weird though? What is a weird phenomenon that I'm not getting used to is when I was in Anubis, I was like 16 to 19. And a lot of the people that watched it were 13 to 16. They were only 3 years behind me in age, quite a lot of them. But what's weird now is I think because when you're 13, people who are 18 feel way
Yes.
older than you.
Yes.
People now bump into me and they're like, God, you must be like, what, 45, 50 now? And I'm like,
You don't look 50.
right? But they always follow up and they go, oh yeah, you look really young for your age. I'm like, I'm 33. And they'll be like, oh, I'm 29. I'm 28. I'm 29. I'm like, yeah, I was not that much older than you. And then they realise. But what's even weirder, and even weirder again, is I think Anubis ended up on Paramount Plus like 2 or 3 years ago. And kids were watching it thinking it was new. Because streaming services, they can make you think things are kind of not older.
Yeah.
So then I would have kids that were like 13, 14 see me in the street or in town and be like, I recognise you from somewhere. Because my hair's obviously gone grey since then and I'm a bit older. They kind of look at me and they go, I know you from somewhere. I know you from something. And then they realise and they go, God, you're from House of Anubis. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why? God, the makeup makes you look much younger. And do you dye yet? And I'm like, oh, it's so funny because they think it's still right now. But it's cute. It's really fun. So yeah, Anubis is just always the gift that keeps on giving. And the little stories I find, the little things people tell me about it, is always quite heartwarming.
No, definitely. My friend and I, this is what we bonded over. We're like, did you watch last night's episode of House of Anubis? And we would talk about it at school and stuff.
It was a big thing, and what you just said there, that is always the most common thing people tell me is, oh, me and my friends watched it, or me and my, group from my friends group, or, we would talk about it in school, even some people talk about it in college. And I think at the time, it was always apparent to us, and Alex was such a nerd for this. Alex used to follow all of the Tumblr pages, all of the fan fiction, and it really was, and I mean all of it, some of it was terrifying. So, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I think Nickelodeon had to send out a couple of cease and desists back in the day.
Don't look at that.
Yeah, he used to look at some stuff and he was like, okay, so in this one, you and I are both horses. And I'd be like, what, how, what? And yeah, but there was so much fan fiction out there. And it was a really vibrant community. And hear me out, sometimes I think, if Anubis had happened 3 years later, I think it would have become possibly even bigger than it did at the time. Because those were this is what's weird. Iron Man 2 came out when we were doing season 2. Fan culture and cosplay was still almost underground at the time.
Yeah.
And Comic-Con was still quite, not fringe, it was still huge, but it was fringe compared to everything else. And sometimes I think now, looking at the response to things like Fallout and so many other shows, and Harry Potter is always getting a resurgence. Sometimes I think, like, me and Alex always joke that we got robbed, like, of our opportunity to have people cosplay us at, like, Comic-Cons and
Totally.
and go to fan meets and stuff, because we just, like, we wrapped and Anubis kind of ended just when that stuff was really starting to go. And I always wonder what it could have been, years later.
No, totally. Like, I think it should be bigger than it is. Like, it was so good. Half my journal entries from the time are just me telling my journal, like, what happened in last night's episode. And I'm like, you're not going to believe what they did.
Oh, that is that's amazing. But that's lovely to hear, because, I mean, it's funny you say about, writing in your journal about the episodes, because the writers at Anubis were so talented, and they were so good at that, If you get given a series, I mean, if you look at most shows that have maybe 20 episodes, like, I'm trying to think of an example, but like any show that has maybe 10 episodes, 15, 23, 30. But Anubis, because it was written and edited in 100 episodes per season, to come up with 100 cliffhangers and write a story that has 100 interjection points that are always going to make people go, what's happening next? What's happening next? What's happening? And I can remember people freaking out. I can remember seeing people sending videos of themselves watching the end of an episode and being like, "No, like, oh my god, what happened?" And the way the writers kept that energy up. But as well, I always joke about this. And I recently met up with Angelo, the director, again after 12 years of not seeing him. And we always had this thing, and it was called end of episode face. And there was always this thing you would do, end of episode face. And it was so that they could do that thing where they would have, I've just found out it was Victor. And then everyone had to be like, and you needed, like, it would go to, like, person's reaction, other person's reaction, person that said its reaction, and then dum dum, and the music would always do dum 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 dum. So they needed to edit it, like, 6 seconds of, like, end of episode face. So we would always do this thing where the director, Angelo, would be like, and end of episode face. And you'd kind of go, and there are so many shots. There are so many shots of me going, "What do we do? What is it?" And you couldn't talk. You had to just like do it. And it was always this like really fun thing. But I mean, it was equally as fun for us, to be honest, Kayla, because we would do read-throughs in blocks, in 10-episode blocks. So we would get to the end of like an episode and be like, we need to carry on reading. And when we got to the end of that block read-through, we'd be like, "Oh, but what happens in the next block?" And the writers would be like, "We're not telling you. We're not telling you what happens." And there were times we were like, what is going to happen? The biggest mic drop moment, though, where I was like, my character is sick, was, and the moment that just had me going, this is insane, which was the end of a read-through, was when we found out that my character turned evil. Fabian turned evil in season 2. And I remember it said, and then we realised Fabian has gone evil, and we were all like, no! Like, what's he gonna do? And like, what does he do? And they were like, not gonna tell you, not till the next block. And every block took 2 weeks to do, so we would always wait. So yeah, it was exactly the same for us.
Oh, that's so fun that you guys get to like unlock the mysteries kind of at the same time. That's really cool.
Yeah, and it was and sometimes I remember when we did season 2 and 3, because I think season 1 was like 60 episodes, and then season 2 and 3 were 100. Season 2 and 3, that was the first time when Nickelodeon would be releasing episodes before we actually finished shooting. So I think the episodes went out in, like, let's say we started in June and we would finish in January for season 2 and 3. But the episodes would start going in, like, September, October. And then there was this thing of people would be online going, oh my god, I'm going to ask Brad what happens in the end. And I'm like, lol, we've not filmed it. We don't actually know. We don't actually know. And the really clever thing the writers did there was, particularly for the last 2 blocks where the episodes and the tension would get really high for the end of season, they hadn't written it. They would wait to see the audience response to the audience really loved that.
Oh, sneaky.
And the audience really loved that. And they would go on Tumblr, they would read the fan fiction, they would look and they would go, okay. And that's always the thing. Yeah, not fan fiction. And And that's always funny because, like, I'll talk to people now who watch popular TV shows and they go, yeah, and they did this thing, but that thing they did was totally in a fan fiction I read. And I wonder if they read it. And I'm like, they read it. They read all of it. If the internet wants something to happen sometimes, the writers of any TV show are definitely looking at that and going, we have power because we could choose to do what they want and get a reaction, or we could choose to go the complete opposite way and see where that goes. And it's tough now. It's really tough. I do not envy any writers now because the uproar, if you get something wrong, Game of Thrones ruined it for everyone now. If you get it wrong, that's it.
Eugene was in Game of Thrones, right?
I totally forgot about that.
Was that before or after Anubis? He was a Lannister.
I'm going to tell you a funny joke. This is a funny story. It actually was during, and he auditioned at the same time, and I think he got the parts at the same time. But I will always remember there was this running joke. Eugene loved that he was in Game of Thrones. He thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I'll never forget, we went to this pub, and we were basically chilling, but we were all 18 at this point. I think this was season 2, halfway through season 2. In fact, I say we were all 18. Jade was like 23, still like. But yeah, and I remember we sat there, and there was this scouser, and he was just sat there, looking really intensely at us, but particularly Eugene. And we're like, that guy keeps saying, yeah. And he kind of went, right, sod this, and he came over, and he was like, sorry, mate, and he looked at Eugene, and he was like, mate, I swear, I know your face from somewhere, you know. I've seen your face somewhere. And Eugene just went, yeah, it's probably, you've probably seen me in Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones was massive at this point, right? And we were all sat there like, and, you know, and he was like, yeah, you've probably seen me in Game of Thrones. Yeah. And this guy went, no, I don't watch that. I don't like that. It's that kids program, House of Anubis. Oh, you know it. And then he clocked all of us. So ever since that point now, Eugene would enter a room, and me and Alex and Bobby or whatever would just sit there and go, sorry, mate, are you in Game of Thrones? And he would like, we were such terrors sometimes, you know, and that's such a British thing to just like, you know, when your friends get above the station, just knock them down, get them back down, you know.
I feel like that is like, it's giving what I would assume to be like classic Eugene.
Classic Eugene. Eugene will hate hearing this because he's an excellent actor. But Jerome, the character, was so similar to Eugene. Eugene, you know, he is quite well spoken, you know, privately educated, that kind of like very classic British. He's not from Cambridgeshire, Oxfordshire, but it gives that vibe, you know, and that is Eugene. He's very collegiate, very well put together. Every sentence is, you know, a work of art put together, and that is him. So yeah, to just go to kind of, you know, take the mick out of him for quite a long time about it. Me and Alex just used to annoy him sometimes because we were quite, I wouldn't say immature, but very British in our humour. You know, we would always kind of pull him back down when he was getting too far up.
Sometimes you need to do that though. I do that to my brother, so.
Oh yeah, you've got to do it, and you know, it's all in jest because there's times when, you know, there's times when someone nails a job. Or someone gets a job and they just go, you know, like Naomi Scott, you know, boom, A-list movie, done. Walt Disney, poster title movie, amazing. But that doesn't mean when I don't say I'm not going to be like, all right, where's your magic carpet? You know what I mean? Like, you know, just like, you're British. You're gonna take the mick out of the jobs people get and the things they do. You know, you've got to do it. It's the way it works, but it's also your way of like just saying like nice one, you know.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And before Riverside like kicks me out again, you also you do music as well, and you have like a huge amount of original songs that were basically the soundtrack for my entire high school years.
Whoa!
Like,
which ones? And are these my solo ones? Yeah.
All of them, like Window. She's Got a Hold on Me.
Window. Oh my god! Yeah. You have just like unlocked a whole part of my life that
I'm
never
really
forgotten about. Yeah. Looking through my window. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like I'll say, I was re-listening to them before this because, and I'm
Right.
still like I still know all the words. We still got it, but I have to tell you this, man. This is
Go
like
on.
this is my confession, uh, but so back in the day, like I don't think these were available on iTunes or anything.
No, I think I can't remember where they were. I had this thing where I wish I didn't do this, but I was always scared to actually release music. Like I was always scared. I think some stuff was on like SoundCloud, some of it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was loads of different bits and bobs that just never made it out. And I would write like a song every day at one point, and I can't even remember where I put them. Some of them are on MySpace. Whoa, way back. Some of them are on MySpace. Where did you find them?
Some of them were on your YouTube channel way back
Yeah,
when.
that was it.
And then some of them were like someone like either made like fan edit lyric videos or someone filmed like you
Yes.
performing them. But I have
Yeah.
to confess that since they weren't like proper released, I used to like record from my laptop. I used to record onto like my phone's voice notes
That is
for the
sick. I
sole
love
purpose of being able to listen to it like in the like car rides or plane rides or
that.
something.
I really should have just released them. And do you know what it was? It was so, the reason a lot of those songs never really got released was because at the time, and this is the side of kind of the industry people don't really ever talk about, but what with being, you know, ex-Disney, now Nickelodeon, I had quite a big following. I was quite well known, especially in the States. I don't know why, but the States, I was way well known there. I would walk around in LA and I just like couldn't, like people would constantly stop me, and that was always alien to me. So like I can remember like Hollywood records were like talking to me like, oh, you know, maybe should we do a deal, should we do a thing? And there was this whole conversation of like, oh, do we turn you into like a solo Jonas Brothers kind of artist? Do we turn you into a like British white version of Bruno Mars? Do we turn you like what? Yeah, and there was all
Yeah.
these stuff. So as a result, I would have these conversations with Warner, and Warner signed me on a development deal at one point. But they were always like, yeah, don't release anything. Don't release anything because you'll be signed. So originally it was like, don't release anything because you'll get signed, and just keep those songs for an album. And I was like, oh, okay. It was this weird thing, and I can't remember which label it was, and I can't remember the specifics, but I was talking to a label, and then they were like, we're thinking of actually signing a different Nickelodeon person. So that was Ariana Grande. So that worked out well. That was the
Wow,
right decision.
okay.
So yeah, so she got started. So then they weren't interested in me, and then I would talk to another label, and they would sign Max Schneider.
Shut up.
Remember Max Schneider?
Yeah.
So we were managed by the same dude.
Oh my god.
And then but he did the same thing. And I can't remember. I very quickly dipped out of the scene. I can't remember if Max actually got signed in the end because he self-released a lot of stuff, which was the right thing to do. I should have done it.
True.
But yeah, he just kind of, he was the same. He was writing with the same people. And I've got a crazy story actually. Remind me later on, Kayla, about like writing with people and the weird
Yes.
loop it's caused now. But I was writing with the same people Ari was writing with, the same people that Nick was writing with for his solo album, and so we were in the same circles.
Wow.
But it was just like labels would say, we've already got our ex-Disney kids, we've already got our Nick kids, we've already got, and the UK is so much different. So then I was like, you know what? And you know, being completely honest, mentally it was really difficult. It was really difficult to always feel like second place all the time, you know.
I believe
and always,
that.
oh, like, okay, that person got signed, amazing, because they're way more talented. Like, they're way more talented than I am. Boom, done, cool. Let's go. Oh, no. And then when I ran out of energy. I got disenfranchised, and I was like, do I just self-release? But then by now, the show had ended a year ago, then it had ended 2 years ago, so the momentum was just really slowing down. And mentally, I really struggled, and I did what I think a lot of people do that are from British seaside working class towns, and I just kind of went, oh, I'm done with the... At the time, you know, I'm done with the false promises. I'm done with the whole, you know, I'm done. I'm losing my self-respect. I'm losing my confidence. I'm just going to go and live in a shack in the woods. And it's almost what I did. Literally, I just did that whole thing that so many people from those kinds of backgrounds do. And I was like, oh, do I just go and be a fisherman, you know? But so I just completely restarted, and I went off the internet. I just disappeared, to be honest. And I opened a recording studio and decided I just wanted to make music. That's all I wanted to do. I wasn't bothered if it wasn't me that was the star or at the front. And we did YouTube covers for a while, and you know, we did a bunch of stuff like that. And then we played around with. I mean, God, I look back now, and I almost get like embarrassment remembering that. I was like, right, I'm going to be solo artist, Brad Kavanagh. And I remember I put out this demo, and this guy that manages a band called Nothing But Thieves, amazing band, amazing huge British band. He got in touch and was like, love your cover of Blame. Do you want to be a punk rock artist? Do you want to be like a Green Day solo artist kind of guy? And I was like, I love that kind of music, but I don't think really. And what was clearly a sign of the fact I was creative was no matter what I did, whether it was the YouTube covers or whether it was putting out originals on SoundCloud or YouTube, people were always getting in touch. People from LA were always getting in touch saying, oh, do you want to do it? And we'd talk for a month, and then maybe it was because my heart wasn't really in it at that point. I don't know. We'd talk for a month, and then it would just shut down, and I like this demo, but then this demo was a bit more kind of pop. Maybe we should do rock. And you get to a point where you are analysing everything you do so much, because you've got to the point where now the natural momentum you had has gone, your natural music taste have gone, and now you've got people from the industry saying, oh, well, a white guy doing reggae is really what the industry wants right now. And you go, okay. But that's where She's Got a Hold on Me came from, because it's like, okay, I'm not doing reggae. Like, I'm not doing reggae. I'm not culturally appropriate an entire music genre, and it's just not my style anyway. But it was like, if you want the offbeat guitar, so we wrote She's Got a Hold on Me with some incredibly talented writers, Rick Parkhouse, George Tizard. They write incredible songs for artists like James Arthur, Little Mix, like loads of big, huge artists. But then they go, someone's already done that now. And you go, oh, do you know what I'm doing? So yeah, I think that's why a lot of music that I made never really got released, because I think goalposts move, times change, and I realised that I wanted to make and I wanted to create, and that's what was fueling me through everything, including my acting. Acting I always found difficult to do, where I was always much more. It was either just taught me I wanted to create rather than be the star of something. Because even when I was acting, I used to find acting quite difficult to do and quite challenging. So then, what I would end up doing is saying, well, actually, what I want to do is I kind of would like to be the person telling the actor what to do, and I would kind of like to be standing with the camera and making a story. So it was that journey that led me to realise I didn't have the ego I thought I had at the time. I didn't care about it being me. I just wanted to make stuff, and I wanted to make stuff that went somewhere, that did something. So that was when I opened a recording studio and stopped making music entirely for myself. We're always writing, we're always doing stuff. We make music we want to. So it's almost completely reversed now, where I'm back to that place I was in when I made Window, when I made songs like She's Got a Hold on Me. I'm back there now where I'm making the songs I want to make. And it's nice.
Brad, I think you got it. Like, 1 in a Million could be like a wedding song. That could be like my wedding song.
1 in a Million. Do you know what, that song, I would be really interested to know, can you tell there is a song that song was very heavily inspired by? And have you clocked that? Have you clocked what song it's kind of similar to?
No.
Well, that's good. That's good. Are you familiar with the Tarzan soundtrack that Phil Collins did?
Yes.
So you'll be in my heart.
Oh, okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun,
okay, I hear
dun,
that part. Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking, I want to write a song that starts like that, and that was 1 in a Million. I'll take your bruises and I'll take
It's so good. Brad, for me, You gotta put this like album together.
Yeah, do you know what I feel like I need to do? I need to do like an anthology here, and I feel like I need to get those old demos and at least package them in somewhere where people
If
can
you
have them.
even made like one, like three CDs, like for you, for your mom, and for me,
Okay, all
I
right.
will
Is that what
buy one of these because
maybe that's
otherwise I
what
gotta go to YouTube and play each individual video, and I'm like, I will, but it's so time
right.
consuming. It
Okay.
would be so
Okay.
so awesome if there was a Brad album that that was
Ralph. Maybe I need to make it work. Do you know what? I think I don't even. I'm not lying. Let me check. I don't even know if I. Because what I used to do was like, because I mean, I was, I was so like relatively little. I didn't even used to like save the files. I used to add them to my at the time iTunes, and
yeah.
that's how I stored all my songs. I just had them in iTunes. But if I type, I don't even know if I have them on my computers anymore.
Would you like me to send you the YouTube links to the ones that
I
I
feel like
listened to?
you are gonna have. Oh my god, no, I do. Oh, I have loads. Oh, I have loads. Right, okay, so I'm gonna
Yes.
read this out. Right, okay.
Okay.
So I've got a majority of them are from the YouTube era.
Okay.
But so I've got All of Me by John Legend, my cover. Sleeping with the Light On. What? My cover of Dangerous Woman. My cover of Sing by Ed Sheeran. My cover of I Wish by Cher Lloyd. Lego House Ed Sheeran. The Man by Hello Black. What? I can't remember doing that. Me and My Broken Heart by Rixton.
Good.
Why You Gotta Be So Rude. I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith. Stay With Me, Sam Smith. Good Kisser. Usher. Waiting on the World to Change. That's old. That's vintage. That is vintage. That's like 2010.
That video is great.
Always the Quiet Ones.
Yes.
Blame. And then I think I've got some songs here that never even made it to the internet. Can't Get Enough. I don't think I ever shared that. Demons. Dream. Fade to Black. Got You. I don't think I ever. Mate, I'm not kidding you. I'm sorry to tease you with this, right? What? This is insane. So this is reminding me. I have possibly about 20 songs that I don't think even made it into anything on the internet that I think you might not even ever heard. You know.
So I think I'm hearing I've got 3 albums of Brad.
I think you've got a whole like rollout sleeve of CDs here. Up in Flames, You're Gonna End Up Alone. Oh my god, these are all songs I never really. You and
Like I could make
Night.
a mixtape of
Thief.
like
Oh my god, I had a song called Thief, and I was so proud of this. I was so proud of that song. Baby, if we stay the moment. I remember that. You don't even know.
you gotta
the-
release these, Brad.
Right,
Put
okay,
together a
yeah.
mixtape.
You know what's just really weird though, right? So there's a song there called Got You. It's so Jonas Brothers, it hurts.
Send it to me.
Now this is a crazy. Like, I love telling these stories. The reason I love that you've asked me to come on your podcast is because I've got all these weird little tales and weird kind of like coincidences that I feel like people would only care about now in today's society. But right, okay, so hear me out. This is mad. There's a song there called "Got You," and it was this song I wrote that was like, it was like, and I think you're winning every little game, da, 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 da. And it was. I was really happy with it, and I wrote this song with a guy called at the time Steve Miller, but his writing name now is Steve Solomon. Now Steve Solomon, this is such a crazy story. Steve Solomon at the time had been writing with the Jonas Brothers on some bits and bobs with a guy called Blue Macaulay, and he wrote "That's Just the Way We Roll." Blue Macaulay for the Jonas Brothers. It's just the way we roll, and that whole thing. And so I was writing with all these guys, but Got You. That was part of a writing session I had with this guy called Stephen Solomon, and we wrote 2 songs. One was called Got You, and one was called Wonderful. And Wonderful was a bit like One in a Million. It was kind of like a wedding song ballad, you know. And Wonderful You became the favourite song of a guy called Curtis Peoples, who we wrote it with. And it also became the favourite song for a while of the lead singer of Boyce Avenue.
Okay.
Can you remember Boyce Avenue from YouTube?
I remember, yeah.
Like the biggest YouTube like artists going. They invented that thing. And then this is even weirder. Stephen Solomon wrote "Say You Won't Let Go," which is a huge song for James Arthur. Say
Yeah.
you won't let go. And I only found that out when I was brought on to direct a documentary that we're
Wow.
currently editing for James Arthur. And I was talking to James, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm working on like a new album, and I've just been talking to this guy, Steve Solomon." And I was like, "Steve Solomon from Texas, Steve Solomon." He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What do you do with him?" And he was like, "Well, I write with him, and me and him wrote "See You Won't Let Go" together, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Mate, it's." And the thing is, James Arthur, he doesn't know. He never knew I was an artist or I was on TV. He just knows me as like the filmmaker guy.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Why were you writing songs?" I'm like, "Mate, it's such a long story." I was like, "It's such a long."
You
But
have to
so
be
this
there.
weird thing. I like feel like I've lived two lives because like people that know me now as a filmmaker and like so the artists I work with like Jason Derulo or James Arthur, not so much Sam Fender directly, but his camp indirectly. A guy called Jerry Simon, like a bunch of these people we work with, these artists, they just know me as like they never watched Nick, so they're just like, oh yeah, so oh it's Brad, the director guy we work with. Oh yeah, cool. So then when they find out little nuggets of like, what's going on there? Why? What do you mean you're on TV? And it's like really weird where they find out about that history and it blows their mind. It's really funny because I remember, and I think it was when we were working with Jason on his concert series, which the first episode's out now, and there's many more to come. Um, I was just having like an impromptu conversation with Jason, and I can remember just mentioning something like, "Oh yeah, I saw that," and he was like, "Oh, where did you see that?" And I was like, "God, I met her at the Kids' Choice Awards in like 2013." I remember Jason was like, "What were you at the Kids' Choice Awards
No,
for?"
why
And I
are
was
you
like,
at the Kids' Choice
"Oh
Awards?
man, it's a long story. It's a long story," and I never want the artists I work with to find out because I never want them to go in do digging and then for me to kind of. Sometimes when you're working with artists in quite an intimate way to film
Yeah.
stuff, they love that you're not a performer. You're not.
Oh.
You're not in their lane. You're not. So sometimes if they find out, shit, you're a singer, and you're, oh shit, oh what? It enters this weird thing where like now like, oh, you're a performer. So what are you? Are you a director or a performer? And it can change the energy. So I try not to let people find out that I work with in that way. But it's hilarious. And there've been times when we've been shooting a concert somewhere, and maybe I've been out in the masses, and a load of like girls have spotted me and start going crazy because they're like, "Oh my god, it's Fabian from Manu. Oh my god, and then everyone starts screaming, and people are like, "Is it?" And people that are there for the artist think the artist turned up, and it's so funny. It is so funny because people do not expect. People don't think that if you're in front of the camera, you will then come behind, unless you're still in front of the camera at the same time. So there's this really funny thing where people go, "Why are those people staring at you and like screaming and making a fuss?" And I'll just like play with it and I'm like, "No idea, mate. I think they think I look like someone. I don't know."
You probably know me from Game of Thrones. Probably.
Yeah, oh, see, yeah,
Instant callback.
that's nailing the call. That, yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. That's super cool. And you do photography now too, right?
Yeah, I do. Although I always say I don't really do photography professionally. It is my like side hustle that pleases me, and I think when you're a filmmaker, you're so used to framing things up for film, for video. But sometimes I go beautiful places and I don't want to take a video camera. I just want to kind of take a picture. And I'm a very kind of like, I'm a very thinky guy. So I am that guy that will, on my own, go and sit by the sea for 2 hours and just sit and look out and be like, oh, it's beautiful here. And just think. think about what we're doing at Kino. Think about family stuff, Life's hard. Like, as you get older, I lost 2 people really close to me in my family. So I've become very thinky over the last year. Last 2 years, last 3 years, really. And so as a result, my photography came because I would go to these places and I would sit on a bench somewhere and go, oh, it's beautiful here. And then I'd be like, kind of want to take a picture. I kind of wish I had a picture that looked exactly how I'm saying this right now. So that's how it started, and it just fueled more of an addiction. And the reason so I do sell prints hilariously, and I'm doing a bit of a rebrand on that. And people will say, why you sell prints? Why bother? Why sell? With everything else you're on with.
Because
And
they're cute.
I'll be honest. People buy them. People are lovely as well, and someone from Texas bought like a photograph of the lighthouse in my hometown, and I was like, that is insane. And they weren't an Anubis fan, or they weren't someone that knew. They just came across, and I was like, it's nice, But as well, it is, if I can be completely honest, I'm addicted to buying lenses. So if it can pay for itself, that works for me. I mean, living in the UK, cost of living is a thing. So like fuel, we're not really an oil producing country, so like petrol and diesel is a fortune. And I'm saving up to buy a house and various other things. So I'm like, do you know what? I'll sell my prints so that whatever I spend on photography equipment, I'm not taking out of my savings, and I'm being a good little boy. So yeah, it's a bit of a. I know, I'm trying. I am trying. So yeah, it's a nice little side hustle, but I do take it quite seriously, considering it is a side hustle, because I think I struggle to talk about the filming work, because the truth is, some directors that do commercial work, they do a different job every 2 weeks. They've got plenty to talk about, plenty to shout about. Oh, just shot this, just shot this. But because we do documentary and we work very closely with artists, I mean, the Jason project, we've been working on that for 18 months in almost silence and secrecy. And it's only started now to come out. And it's the same with James Arthur. We're working on a project with him, and it's the same situation. We've been working on that for a year. So you spend a long time working on one project, really trying to hone it, nail it. We're a small team, but that's the type of stuff we do. That kind of emotional stuff takes time. So see, I can't kind of like, it would look weird if I was like, oh well, I'll post about the 3 or 4 or 5 projects we've done this year, because like the truth is that's how long we spend on these projects. It's not enough to fill a feed. So yeah, it's kind of like my photography is that thing I can just keep consistent and keep sharing, and I've always got to be making something. I always have to be making something, even in my spare time.
I totally get that.
Recently went hard into, you must be onto Notion, the app.
I'm not.
Like get on it.
You got to change my life.
Notion is blowing up. Now I've been on Notion for about 2 or 3 years, but only recently really gone hard on it. And like that's my next thing. I've made an entire kind of film production management database in Notion because I'm a nerd and because I've always got to be making it. I made a piece of software. I'm hell into AI right now, and I use it to like develop apps. And at the minute, I'm developing an app that I'm calling Stockroom, and it's an app that tells you, based on popular analog film, it's like Kodak, Portra, Fuji Velvia, it tells you how each one changes colours.
Oh.
And it gives you so I've developed this app with Claude, and if you go on it, it'll say, okay, so Fuji Velvia always makes red 10% more orange, and makes yellows 5% more red. Okay. And blues are really unsaturated, and it gives you like a curve of how all the colours change. And I'm using that so that when I edit my photographs, if I think, I want this one to feel more Fuji Velvia, because I love analog film, but I have not got the budget to shoot analog film every day because it costs me. So yeah, if I'm like, I would take this on Kodak Portra, then I've got this app that I've made that'll say, yeah, okay, it analyzes an image I give it, and it'll say, yeah, okay, so if you want this to look more Portra, you've nearly nailed it, but get the blues, make them more green, get the da-da-da. And it tells me how to make my image film it. So yeah, so I'm always making random things like that, always.
No, that's so fair. I do spray paint art on the side, and then I also I make these little trees out of wire.
You made that?
Yeah, it's all wire.
How do you do that? That's amazing.
Pliers.
Oh, you are so talented. That's like, so how do you have to is it long nose pliers and bending for hours? How do you do that?
Some of it I use my hands to twist, and then a lot of it is bending with the pliers and then wrapping it around.
See, I just find I'm not very good with my hands. That's incredible. I'm not very good with my hands. But that is amazing.
No,
And and you do spray paint art as well.
Yeah. I'll send you some pictures so you could see.
You need to send me. I need to see this, yeah, because that has blown my. That is incredible. That is like
No,
blown my
I
mind.
used to do filmmaking too, but like I no longer have a camera. I have an iPhone and a dream.
Okay, okay. So what kind of tell tell me more. So what kind of filmmaking did you do? Were you kind of like flying the wall? Was it music videos? Was it just what did you do?
Oh, there were all the cringy ones. Like when I was so this was when I was like 15 or younger. So we would like make
Okay.
our own like music videos of like dancing to like different songs that we like, or
That's
I would like
amazing.
recreate movies that my grandparents would like, or like recap videos of vacations and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I started doing. I think that's where so many people start though. It is, it's like you start with what happens around you, right? Holidays, like, making montages of stuff family do. I think that's where so many people do start. I had an old Medion camcorder and I started like making David Attenborough style videos about my pet chihuahua, as if my pet chihuahua, and I used to like sit miles away and zoom right in, and like my little pet chihuahua would just be like in the grass in the garden, and I'd be near the microphone, I'd be like, and here we have Benji the pet chihuahua. He's a male and only 6 years old. Let's see where he's going. And like that was like
I did that with
big.
mine, but mine were like I had goldfish, so I'm like, here's my fish Bubbles. He doesn't do much.
Yeah, yeah. Documentary film making right there, right there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
when you're a maker, you got to make. You've just got to do it.
Oh, totally, totally.
Please hold while Brad and I both get ejected from the call.
As if nothing happened. Yeah, action.
Take like 100 out of however many. We could talk more later, since Riverside has a vendetta against me apparently.
Okay,
But
okay.
just to wrap up the podcast, I do a segment where artists ask artists questions. So my
I love
last
that.
guest has a question for you. And so I had on two members of the band Attaboy. And
Okay.
so Freddie and Dashel from Attaboy would like to know, what do you find is the most rewarding part of the creative process?
Oh, that's you know what? I thought I was going to struggle to answer this, but actually, it's just like hit me immediately. The most rewarding part for me is the response from whoever the target audience was, and that could be you. It's like sometimes I do things for me. My photography really is for me. So if I take
Yeah.
photos, if I take a picture where I go, oh, I want that on a wall at home, and then I print it and I put it on my wall at home, that's like that's the trade off, right? That's
Yeah.
the audience response. When we edit something, when we make something, no matter what that might be, and then it goes out, and you see that it's helped cement that artist's reputation or story, or it's helped elicit a response. I think if it causes people to be provoked into thinking about something or enjoying something, I think that's the most rewarding part for me. And I mean that's so applicable, isn't it, for everything? The
Yeah.
music, the video, the video work, the photography. If it elicits an emotional response, I think that's the most rewarding part for me. I think, yeah, definitely.
Brad, I
Definitely.
think we're the same person because I tell my parents all the time, like, the reason I create is to make people think and
Yeah.
feel things.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. We're definitely on the same page with that. It's as much an experiment for us as it is for everyone else. And I am a firm believer, especially the older I get, that actually all of it is just trying to understand the human condition. All of it. A picture, why you like something, might be because you're trying to figure out why you like it or how you feel about a certain place or a certain thing. We might love a film because it forces us to reflect upon ourselves and who we are, or reflect upon the people around us, or the type of takeaway that I enjoy the most are the ones that force me to look at something differently than I did before I engaged with whatever that art is. There's a
Yeah.
song, a film, or photograph that makes me go, I thought I knew everything there was to know about that, and actually I don't, and that's made me think I need to look at this more, you know. Yeah, it's
I love
exciting.
it.
It's a fun thing to be a part of, for sure.
Absolutely. And I don't know who my next guest is yet, but you can
Okay.
ask them anything under the sun. It could be about creating things, it could be about music,
Okay.
or it could be totally random.
I would say a question I always find interesting, especially with people that are creative, is there a skill or a skill set that you wish you had that you don't? And that probably sounds like a really basic question, but for me, I sometimes, yeah, I often find I'm very satisfied with what I do creatively, but I look at people that can sculpt, and I'm like, I really wish I could do that. And I have tried. You'd laugh at the attempts I've done to sculpt or throw pots, and it's laughable. I'm not good with my hands, like I am not. So yeah, I would like to know what is one skill and or discipline that you wish you had or could do.
No, that's a great question.
And I would be really interested to hear the answer. I'll have to tune in after the next person to see what they say, because that gets such a response. You get some people that have like never considered that, and they go, "Oh, I don't know," and then you get some people that right away go, "Oh, I wish I was athletic." You know, I wish I was one of these people that was really athletic or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's always interesting to see what people say to that.
I wish I
Yeah,
could play string instruments, but my fingers do not
there you.
do that.
We are the same. We are the same. Violin was on my. I tried it at school. I tried it again when I got
It was a
older.
no.
Just always sounded like a screeching cat. Couldn't do it. And people said it's a guitar, but you bow it. Nah, it's not. It's not that easy.
I
Not that
play
easy.
drums,
Yeah.
but that's because that's for me. That's like the easiest one to just like.
Right, like you make the note. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that and a trumpet, forget it. Forget it. Trumpet just sounds like a fart. Can't get an actual note out of it.
No, that's
It's that whole weird thing you do with your mouth, right? Or the
yeah, because you have to like.
You have to like. Someone said you have to like blow the hardest, like a tiny straw. Someone said, imagine you've got a tiny straw, like a little cocktail straw, and you're like doing this, none of that.
But like, when would
Try
I
it.
ever be doing that though?
Yeah. Like don't get me wrong. It's probably killer for the face muscles, but it eludes me still. Just sounds like
Yeah.
that.
Yep,
Not I can't do it.
absolutely. And then lastly, shameless self promotion, Brad. Where can people find you? Plug your projects. Link your Etsy shop.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, obviously on Instagram. Instagram is the social media channel I am the most active on. Brad Kavanagh official. That's me. But then I also have Brad Shoots, Brad.shoots, and that is soon going to become kind of like my full-time repository for photography. So yeah, follow me on both of those channels, and you'll get a good idea of what I'm doing. I share more about filmmaking on my personal one. I share more about photography on Brad Shoots. But then other than that. I guess keep following Jason Derulo. He's someone we're doing a lot of work for right now, and every episode you see from his concert in Vienna is us. That's our work. It's something we're so proud of, and I'm so proud of my team. There's only 3 of us. I mean, it's hardly anyone, but we do a real good job. I'm really proud of them. So yeah, check that out, and then stand by for an upcoming project with James Arthur. We watched the final cut today. We're happy with it. Which is mental. There's a couple of music mixing things and a couple of grading things we're gonna alter. But then I think in the coming months, stand by, watch James Arthur's socials. He'll probably be deciding what he wants to do with that and when that's going to come out. But yeah, largely that's it. And my Etsy store at the minute is actually called Hefty Prints. But I don't know why I made it a brand, but I'm actually just going to call it Brad Shoots. And I'm just going to have it be me and call it Brad Shoots. And so yeah, stand by for the rebrand of that. But yeah, you can buy any of my photos there, and I'm take printing very seriously. I'm a big nerd. I've got a fine art printer in the corner of my room, and with like museum gallery grade inks in it. So the prints are nice. The photos come out really well. So yeah,
I'm gonna link all of your stuff in the description also, so
Oh,
people can
thanks.
find
That's
it
so kind. And
easier.
also, I just want to say before we wrap up, this has been great. You're awesome. You are such a good host. You've made me feel so at ease,
Oh,
and it's
thank
been a
you.
really, really good chat, creatively. And it's been really nice. So thanks for asking me to come on the podcast. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks everyone listening. And yeah, bigs up for the cast because I really enjoyed it, and it was really fun. So thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, thank you for your patience with the Wi-Fi and thanks for coming
Oh,
on.
it's all right.
My
No
best friend
worries.
is gonna lose her mind. I told her I can't tell you until after it's recorded, but I'll tell you
Oh, really?
after. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I might be
absolutely.
starting. I might be starting a podcast. I'm not too sure.
As you should.
I I think I'm going to, and I think my first guest is going to be Alex Sawyer. But
I think you should do it.
hang fire. I'm figuring out the logistics. Do I really need another thing in my life to suck hours out of me? Maybe not, but I kind of really want to do it.
I think
So
you
yeah,
should.
I think this experience has probably convinced me that I need to do it. So thanks for
Oh,
that.
that makes me feel so special.
Yeah, I think you've directly inspired it now. It's probably going to happen.
Oh,
So yeah,
good. I hope
thank
I've also directly inspired an album to come out.
I think you definitely have. I know I need to get on that, but yeah, watch this space. I need to go through my old song library and see
Absolutely.
what I can.
No, they're so good. They're so good.
Oh, thanks so much. Honestly, it means the world. It means the world that you loved Anubis. It means the world that you like the songs. One in a million. I mean, what a throwback. So,
It's
yeah, thank you. If it made at least one person happy and respond, honestly, thanks so much. That's fantastic.
absolutely. I've still probably got the voice notes saved on my laptop somewhere.
That's you're gonna have to send me those, because I don't know if I have.
That's so embarrassing. I have to. They're so bad quality, but I'll find them and I'll.
Well, you don't have to. Only if you want to. Only if you want.
That's all for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had a great trip down memory lane if you did grow up watching the show, and if you didn't, I hope that you still had a fun time hanging out with me and Brad anyways, because Brad is super sweet, super kind, and a really fun guy. I'm going to link all of his socials as well as the Etsy shop for his photography prints in the description so that you could check out his incredible photography skills as well as not missing any updates on the projects that he's currently working on. Also, once again, if you are not following the podcast on Spotify, Instagram, or Apple Podcasts, what are you waiting for? Come be cool and join the club. If you haven't heard, I'm also doing 2 bonus spooky episodes for October this year. So last week we had Nicole and Jemmy, pathologist assistant, on the show. We talked about autopsies and unpacked some of the cool things that she does in her job. Next week, I'm excited to bring you a very fun interview with my new friend and the local witch, Elizabeth, who owns a really, really fun shop in downtown New Braunfels that I just absolutely adore. I can't wait to share it with you. So until next week, I hope you guys have a good one and enjoy the episodes.
Oh, my camera's doing the thumbs up
Oh,
thing.
wait, what?
Have you?
I
Can
didn't
you
do
see
that.
that? Have you not seen
I
that?
saw it, but mine didn't do that.
Yeah, so it's this gesture thing, and everyone who's listening to the audio only is going to be so confused. But if you use your phone camera, no, if you use your phone microphone, but with your FaceTime camera, I think if you do that,
Oh.
is it doing? Yeah, there you go. And then if you do that, it gives
What
you a rock
the
show.
heck?
And then if you do this, you get love hearts.
This is crazy.
And there are others. I did find them all. I did find them. I think a double thumbs up is something else.
Oh
Yeah,
my
fireworks.
God.
Yeah, it's totally cool. Totally
Wow.
cool. Yeah. Not saying I'm like a FaceTime expert, but it's not. I've done this before. No, I'm joking.